Hey there, it's Aaron. In this video, I want to have a close look at SDXL 0.9. And what I'm going to do is we're going to look at SDXL 0.9 renderings here on Stability.ai. And we're also going to run the same prompts over here on Leonardo.ai, which does now have SDXL 0.9 available as an option. So I think it will be interesting to see a comparison between the two platforms running the same model. So trying to keep things equal and even here, I have set all of the settings here in Leonardo because SDXL 0.9 in Leonardo is kind of like SDXL on steroids because you have so many other options that you can add in here, including their prompt magic, which is quite powerful and can really help with creativity in images. But I have that turned off. I am using a negative prompt though here on Leonardo because I have found that on this platform the results can definitely be more mixed and not pleasing if you don't add a negative prompt here. So I have done. And so let's try to come up with a prompt that we can use to really give SDXL a test. Maybe we can have a look at some of the things that people have already generated and get an idea from here. I've always loved the glowing jellyfish floating through a foggy forest at twilight. It's one of my favorites because I think it's such an awesome concept, and the result that they came up with was just incredible. So why don't we try a variation on this theme here? So why don't we ask for glowing jellyfish floating through a foggy forest at twilight? Why don't we change that to glowing multicolored squid floating through a foggy city at twilight. So we're going to copy this paste, and I'll get it running here on Stable Diffusion XL, Stability.ai, because you see there's a decent amount of images already in the queue here. So we'll paste our prompt here and ask for a generation, and let's see what happens. Nice looking images. Let's check these out. Kind of an octopus looking deal. I wish that it was more blended in with the background, but a pretty cool image. I like the colors. These, I don't know if they resemble squid so much. It's definitely also not giving as much of a real feel. I mean, trying to compare it to the jellyfish in the forest, this just doesn't seem they don't seem as real and not as natural. Interesting. So let's see if clip drop can provide something different. So here are our images from Stability.ai, and I mean, that is cute. It's nothing like their glowing jellyfish image that they showed us. This feels very composite and it's kind of fun, I guess. We have our creepy squid over here with the eyes. And finally, we have this thing, which is really not that pleasing at all. And we have the bonus of this stringy item happening. So I'm not sure what we think of this prompt. Let's try something else. Why don't we try smoke billowing out of a deer skull? I usually don't go with gothic sort of themes or what have you, but let's give that a run. And let's try the same thing here. Smoke billowing out of a deer skull. Let's let it run. Let's have a look here. What is happening? So there's some bones on the ground and some smoke. I guess it looks like the bones are smoldering, kind of. Here we have a fire, forest fire. Here we have a muscle car for no reason. And then finally we have sort of I don't think that that's deer, but maybe it is. I don't think deer had teeth like that. I'm going to ask for another generation of that, and let's go over to Stable Diffusion and see what it can produce. So these are definitely more in line with what I would expect from that prompt. We have actual skulls. Most of them do look realistic here. I kind of like how this one is just totally mangled. But something like this, maybe not all that natural looking, but it's a cool enough image. This feels like somebody just slapped that deer skull on top of another image. So not necessarily a win, but in terms of direction, this is more what I had in mind. Let's go back to Leonardo and see this set that was generated for us. So it's just not providing images that make any sense. And it's also really not, that one is somewhat true to the prompt. I mean, here again, we have another human head with some other bones around it. And I don't know, they're just kind of silly, if anything. Let's try one more prompt. Why don't we try something like a photograph of an American woman standing on sidewalk in Times Square, NYC. Why don't we copy that and we'll generate this and see what it will do for us. We'll go over here to Stability.ai and get this processing here as well. Let's let that run and we'll jump back over to Leonardo. So here we have our results. A fail on the face, but otherwise did provide what was asked for. The result here isn't clear, but that is definitely what we asked for. And overall, it's just a shame that the faces aren't more complete. This guy's missing a leg. You know, some typical sort of AI treatment of things. I'm going to ask for another generation and jump over to Stable Diffusion and let's see what it can generate for us. These look like great results. Let's inspect these. Much more natural looking, complete figures. They look like an actual photograph. That's fantastic. Let's check this one out. Another fantastic image. The face is complete. The background is perfect. Everything about it is very believable. I love that. Let's look at this one. Also, what a nice image. It looks like a photograph to me. This could be, I mean, it does. It looks like a photograph. It's really incredible. And this one, maybe not as clear of a face, and we're not sure what this figure is doing up here, that picture. I don't know if that's supposed to be part of a billboard. I guess so. But what a great result. Let's go back to Leonardo and have a look at this final set of renderings here. I mean, there's no comparison. I mean, look at that. That's ridiculous. I don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth by spending credits here when I could be using Stable Diffusion XL 0.9 over here for free with better results. So there you go, folks. I'm definitely going to be recommending people use Stability.ai. The amount of time that it takes for images to be rendered, even when the queue is very full, doesn't take that long at all, like less than a minute, which is fair. And compared to using Leonardo.ai, now I love Leonardo for the other rendering models. I just am realizing that there's something different about the SDXL 0.9 over on ClipDrop. I mean, it's the same version, the same rendering model, but clearly different results from two different platforms using the same model. So there you go. I think that was an interesting experiment, and some of the images that were generated are really, really nice. So let me know what you think about these platforms in the comments. Was that a fair fight, so to speak? If you enjoy the video, like the video and subscribe to the channel because it encourages me to make more of these videos. And with that, I will see you the next time.